episode 3. I would say I almost said episode 4. Episode 3 of the VR podcast. You said Robert. This is Vincent, by the way. If you're not tuned in to 2 episodes from now, we have going on from pretty much the last episode. We're going on to the actual football commercials itself from a Super Bowl. Yeah. I was going to go into that to start.
At the time of this recording, the Super Bowl just happened last Sunday, so it's still kind of fresh in our minds. So we wanted to cover each aspect of it. We covered the game last episode, so now we're going to cover the entertainment aspects, the commercials, and
commercials itself, the trailers, and pretty much a breakdown of overall, pretty much.
And the halftime show.
Yes. So, starting with kind of do you want to go to the trailers or commercials first? Because the commercials were really, I feel like they're all good.
They're kind of the same category. Well,
yeah.
I kind of want to save talking about the movies themselves that some of the trailers cover for another episode, but we'll briefly cover some.
I agree.
Good trailers we saw. So you can go ahead and start.
So my top 3 probably commercials. I know y'all Friends fans are going to relate to me. But first, I got to put the Dunkin' Donuts one at number 1. The whole intro in that commercial of Jack Harlow leading Matt Damon. No, it was Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck.
He's leading Ben Affleck to the show. And then seeing just Matt Damon's performance, Tom Brady on stage, was awesome. I'm missing a couple. It
might be my favorite commercial out of all the ones this year.
Because Tom Brady and Matt Damon just leave after that, thinking, man, we should have really took that over. And their Dunkin' Donuts merch in the back was awesome.
It's pretty good.
I thought it was really good. For someone who doesn't go to Dunkin' Donuts that much, I personally now probably be going a lot to that.
Dunkin' Donuts is like the budget coffee place.
If
you don't want to spend a ton
Starbucks
of money.
is not.
I haven't been to. I don't really drink coffee, but I think Dunkin' Donuts is probably going up in price too.
I think it's starting to go up even more for some reason. I have coupons to Wawa's, but I don't have coupons to Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks. I want to.
So the commercial that I put down was the State Farm commercial with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That was a good one.
With I can't do his accent, but the neighbor.
I'm telling you, just with his accent alone, it's going to bring back people to watch Terminator just from seeing that commercial.
I haven't seen Terminator. That's a movie I need to see. Okay. I don't have it. It's on Hulu, I think.
We'll make that on the one category where I expect you to watch, because that is definitely a movie. You got not a movie, but you got to watch this.
You don't have to convince me. I've been trying to see that movie for a while. I saw the Prey movie.
The Prey. Oh, wait, you're talking about the.
That's a.
Alien, Predator, Prey movie.
Yeah, Prey movie.
That was a good standalone. That was a good movie.
Not Terminator. Predator. The first Predator I haven't seen.
The first Predator you haven't seen?
I have seen the first Terminator.
It's been a long time for me.
The first Terminator is good, yeah.
Yeah, but Arnold Schwarzenegger, he with his age, you can see him obviously, he's older, but he's got that same voice and he's got that same tonality that makes you just want to go back and hope for one more movie maybe. But he wouldn't be good in another Terminator movie if it came out this year, for example. But that was a good one as well. I want to talk about one more, though, in particular. The Uber Eats one. I don't know if you remember that. When
Jason Momoa?
No, but this is actually... you probably haven't seen Friends at all. Or if you,
that one. Was that the one?
Jennifer Aniston and...
With the forgetting.
Yes.
That was a good one, actually. I remember that one.
That was a really good one. How they just leave after they get to the Uber Eats and they just take off for separate ways. Is literally, I found that funny.
That was pretty funny.
For someone who hasn't watched all of Friends, I hate when people say it's a girl show. It's still funny. Matthew Perry made it.
Sitcoms are for everyone, I feel.
They're
just funny.
What's your favorite sitcom? I don't know.
Sitcom. I grew up
very briefly.
The Andy Griffith Show and the Dick Van Dyke Show, which are really old.
The Dick Van Dyke Show was wanting to see. I saw the Andy Griffith.
Brady Bunch.
Yes. What about what's the not Will Ferrell. When he slapped Chris Rock, who's that guy that slapped Chris Rock?
Smith.
Will Smith.
Oh, Fresh Prince.
Yeah, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I haven't seen that.
It's crazy how I got to that. I got to the slapping Chris Rock part to you saying Will Smith, but I've seen a couple of those and they're really good. I was hoping they would make a rendition of that for the commercials in one of the Super Bowls, but maybe for the next.
I feel like Will Smith has kind of been blacklisted because of the slap. People
he's
are kind of scared to.
He's been kind of canceled, I would say.
Yeah, kind of like shadow cancel, not like.
Yeah, not full on cancel. You're not going to see him anymore.
Yeah, just people are a little weary to hire him because there's kind of still a little bit of negative perception of him.
That's essentially what I would say for that.
All right. Was there any trailers that you want to talk about? Movie trailers? There was several movies.
Yes, there was one trailer that stood out among the rest. Was there just one trailer? Yeah, the Deadpool. I mean, obviously the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer got me hooked.
That was before kickoff, so I didn't see that one.
Okay, you didn't. Well, okay. I didn't like this setup in the Super Bowl whatsoever. They showed you the trailer, yes. They didn't show you the full trailer. They said you could watch it online.
What?
After
That's so dumb.
they gave us so many good points in the trailer, but then they end it where I don't know if I should say it. I
They
mean,
have
people
the
have seen
budget
it.
to play the full trailer.
They have the budget to play the full trailer too. Yeah, that's what I'm saying basically. And they only showed Deadpool and they didn't show Wolverine in the trailer. You have to look it up though to see the full trailer. You do see Wolverine's shadow at the end, and it's getting me so hyped for the movie actually.
Couple movies that had some trailers that I'm interested in. Quiet Place.
Quiet
3.
Place 3.
Three, I
Day
almost said
1.
2.
Day 1 that's the title.
Day 1. I don't think I'll see it in theaters, but I do like the Quiet Place franchise. So I want to see it eventually. And then the other one I was already hyped for is Planet of the Apes.
Oh yeah.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
I knew I was forgetting one. I knew it.
Which we'll talk about more in depth
movies.
in anticipated movies of 2024 in another podcast. But the Planet of the Apes one I've been hyped for probably like a year now since it was.
What do you think of Caesar? Or that's obviously a descendant. That's not him.
We're talking about that next
segment. Okay, I get too excited
because I've been wanting to talk about that one for a few weeks now.
Those are probably the ones you mentioned that I pretty much had too as well for that. Overall, I would say the commercials and trailers I would say that was better than the halftime show because we're getting into the halftime show.
Yeah, I'd say the trailers were the highlight as far as commercials go. They had some good commercials like the ones we mentioned, but I think the trailers are really what carried it.
Yeah.
But what did not carry it and what brought it down was the halftime show.
Which we are going to get into very briefly because it was that bad.
Yeah, I don't want to pollute your mind with this garbage, but go ahead.
I mean, there's going to be people obviously out there who are going to disagree, but I don't think Usher. I mean, I haven't listened to his music really. I'm just getting into R&B music.
I know one Usher song.
Yeah.
And they didn't even play that one. The one song I kind of like is DJ's God's Fallen in Love, and I'm pretty sure they didn't play that.
They didn't play that one.
They didn't play that. That's the only Usher song I kind of like, and then they didn't play it. So
obviously, if we're gonna play "Yeah" by Usher, obviously, but I mean that's like you hear that everywhere you go. So now once you hear that, it's like okay, pick something different. Pick something.
Well, you know the Minecraft parody. Have you seen that? The Captain Sparkles Minecraft parody video of DJ's God's Fallen in Love.
I don't think I have. No, is it?
The internet knows. I think that's the Creeper.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, but
that's the one they needed to play. They did not play it.
And they did not play it, and I thought overall it wasn't loud enough at all. Like the fans were even into it. Where was those weird people that were illuminated, basically following Usher throughout the crowd? That was weird.
I gotta be honest. I started going on my phone during the performance. I got bored.
First 5 minutes, he's like, "All right, I'm done."
So I wasn't really paying attention. Can we talk about that dance move he was doing, where he was like spasming? What was that?
He had a video game character moment, I believe, in that scene. I don't think he felt he was there.
He was glitching into the stage.
It was like watching Tenet, like the people glitching basically on screen. I feel like during one of those scenes, it was it was weird.
The back rooms, how you glitch into the back rooms.
Yeah, glitch into the back.
It's like that. He's going into the back rooms.
It's kind of like it's kind of like seeing something that's not even supposed to be there. And kind of like it's kind of like it was an AI version of him.
I think it's safe to say he probably wrote his own choreography. I don't think a professional choreographer said to do that, but I don't know.
And I could have sworn they cut it early. I could have sworn they cut it right before his song actually ended too. They actually cut the show. It was kind of short too. It was pretty short because I go in from walking my dog and it's like, oh, we're starting again. Kickoff's about to start.
People were complaining about the Weeknd's halftime concert. That one was good. I feel like he put effort into that one.
I personally like Weeknd as an artist, but I personally think that show he included people in it more than others do.
Yeah, I like that one. But this one, nah. Forgettable. Forgettable to say the least.
Very forgettable. You had Ice Spice there. I tell you, that looked bad. You know who Ice Spice is?
She didn't perform. She was in the
No, I know,
but
boxes. She was like her and Brittany Mahomes are so annoying. They were in the crowd in the halftime show. Brittany Mahomes tried to get Post Malone to wear his Chiefs jersey, and he kept saying no, but he basically gave.
He was in a Cowboys jersey.
He was in a Cowboy jersey, yeah, and he was forced to say, "All right, just for this one song, I'm going to wear a Chiefs jersey."
That's the man that does not care about what other people think because he wore a Cowboys jersey after the season they had. That's pretty funny.
Which is pretty embarrassing.
He had the boldness to do it, but I respect it.
Which we were going to talk about the NFL season as a whole.
We will.
We will, okay. So yeah, pretty much the halftime show.
You know, this kind of blends into entertainment because we're talking about trailers and stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
We're technically about to go into the next category, but we'll just talk about the NFL season right now.
As a whole,
because we didn't really talk about sports at all in this section.
Yeah. I personally think this NFL season had its really good moments. It had its bad moments for every team. Even for every team, I feel like it did. Not the Ravens had a little losing streak in the middle of their season, but it was a pretty good season. What some takeaways did you have about it?
Yeah, just kind of disappointing as far as teams started off really well and then fizzled out. Like the Eagles, what happened to the Eagles?
Oh my God, the Eagles and the Cowboys this season.
I don't know what happened. I think did they change? Was it the defensive coordinator or offensive?
Yeah, the minute they changed their. No, they had Nick Sirianni still.
They did something.
No, they changed their offensive coordinator. Yeah, you're right. They changed their offensive coordinator.
Yeah, and that must have done something bad because didn't they?
Hurts. Well, even before the playoff, like they played the Giants twice because in their division they lost to them, I think, twice.
Because they started off, was it 11-1?
Yeah,
11-1, and then they ended the season 1-5.
That is
terrible.
A turnaround right there. That is a very bad turnaround. And obviously, that's not going to give you momentum in the playoffs. Once you lose 5 straight,
they lost the wild card game.
It's Tampa, which I really like since a Florida team.
Mm-hmm.
They have potential. Baker Mayfield's a pretty good quarterback.
Yeah.
But I think the most disappointing team was the Cowboys. You can't lose the first game of the playoff. You can't lose the first game of the playoffs when you're saying this is different than I'm saying this is your year. They actually this time believe. Like
they believe every year, let's be honest.
But
disappointment implies that you expected something greater. Did we expect something greater? I don't think so.
True. I mean, I knew they weren't gonna go all the way. I just thought they were gonna beat my Packers. I didn't realize the Packers are gonna come out that.
The Packers, they were kind of like the reverse of the Eagles, where they started playing really well,
really hot.
So if you really delve into the game and each team, it's not as egregious that they lost to the Packers because they were playing a lot better.
That is true. Actually. They were playing.
Like, the Packers were better than their record, I'd say, because they were 9-8 going into the playoffs.
We were 9-8 going into the playoffs, but with fire, like with momentum. We just beat the Bears in the final week of the regular season, and that got us into the playoffs. So we're already saying, all right, now there's no expectations of us, so we're just going to do our thing. And that's basically what we did. They almost beat the Niners, the one who got to the Super Bowl. It was crazy. If it wasn't for their bad weather, I feel like the Packers had a chance. Yeah.
All right, so we'll go ahead and move on to the entertainment category.
The halftime show was going to lead into our kind of like our favorite kind of like genres. I was thinking.
We'll briefly cover this. I don't think we have enough time to truly show our passion.
Because I got a story after this to talk about.
Well, just quickly, what's your favorite genre?
Favorite genre, I would say in the moment is R&B. In the moment.
R&B, okay.
I'm getting into R&B. Now, as I said, for the halftime show was bad because I don't know Usher too much. If I was to change it, it would still be kind of pop. Probably pop is actually my favorite, I would say, because I know more pop than actually R&B. I know Weeknd is R&B / pop. So
he's like dark pop.
Yeah,
where it's like pop, but not like
not Billie Eilish pop, like where it's like depression like that, but it is still pretty dark.
No, it's like catchy, upbeat music with kind of dark lyrics.
Yes.
So
there's a friend of mine. I was trying to get me into Doja Cat. I didn't realize the satanic side that she had.
Well, there was the one video which was kind of career suicide.
Oh, she had to be. Yeah. So like artists like that, we try to stay away from, and it's hard because now in this genre in particular, you have all these new artists coming out.
Even The Weeknd has some like occult undertone stuff. If you really look at his videos,
look at it.
So you kind of have to be careful about those sneaky artists that aren't super blatant, but
Yeah.
Just be careful which one you're listening.
Older music's better. Let's just say that, because it's not like you're not having to worry about, that side of things. Per se, I would say.
But yeah, for me, my favorite genre, probably EDM, electronic dance music.
It's good, man.
Like DJs and stuff.
I've been trying to get into. What's your favorite though? Like Skrillex, dubstep?
No, I like Alan Walker.
Yes.
And then I'll listen to anything like Avicii, Martin Garrix.
Yeah, I was gonna say Martin Garrix. I thought you didn't know. I thought the last couple podcasts I was trying to mention him and you weren't sure of him. Martin Garrix.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's a good one.
Maybe I was having a bad day. I don't know.
Personally,
I discovered him more recently, like within the last month or two, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe I just didn't recognize the name when you said it. But
yeah, Marshmallow's too overrated. So I'm glad.
Marshmallow.
I'm glad you didn't put Marshmallow in there.
I do like some of his songs.
Yeah.
But I discovered he's like an industry plant. He's not real technically. He is a real.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I like the music, but he's not really an artist.
And who even is he? Do people even know still who he is?
There's like
behind the mask?
It's not a conspiracy. There's like speculation on who he is. I did find out the name.
People
don't
say
remember
Ninja from Fortnite.
I don't remember. There's a video, not a video. There's a picture where Marshmallow was wearing ripped jeans with like a hole that revealed a tattoo. And so they connected it to this DJ, and so
wow.
They believe it's a certain guy. I don't remember his name, but if you look into it,
it's gotta be someone that's not so popular, so people can't guess it right away. It's gotta be like undercover.
It was a name I wasn't familiar with, but they did pinpoint who they believe it is.
Okay, I'll have to look into that eventually for that. Which kind of leads. Well, you didn't say it's a conspiracy, but it kind of leads into the story I had. Thriller. It's like a thriller type of story, psychological in a sense.
Okay.
I got this from our. We both follow this guy, Mr. Ballin. He's got some cool stories on YouTube you guys can listen to.
If you're a fan of the strange, dark and mysterious, you might like him.
He has this story is actually on this podcast though called Medical Mysteries. It's a smaller version of what he does basically on YouTube. It's just smaller episodes, shorter episodes.
Okay.
This one in particular really got me hooked into it, and I was really listening to it like not last night, and I kind of wanted to put this in. It all takes place in France, all right, in Paris. This guy.
What year?
It was 2014. 2014.
Okay.
This took place. This guy named Leo. He's a rich guy. He has like this mansion. He lives by himself though. He divorced his wife. Okay. His daughter's now is old enough to work on her own. She lives in her own place. One day he gets home from like work, and he has this feeling that there's someone inside his home. As he goes around, he checks every room. No sign that someone's in there. Checks the bathroom. He sees a man in his bathroom. All right. This is where it gets weird though. This man isn't mean per se. He's not threatening whatsoever. He wanted to just have a conversation with this man Leo. So Leo was going to call 911, obviously. He sees someone in the bathroom. Exactly. He's like, I'm going to go call the cops. He begs Leo to not call 911. And for some reason, against his own judgment, he does not call 911. He has this conversation with this guy in the bathroom for like a 45 minutes to like an hour. He decides, all right, he's not getting up. He's not leaving the bathroom. So he says he's going to make dinner for this guy. Because they're both alone. You find out they're both living on their own.
Okay.
He eats dinner with this guy, all right? After that, he politely tells him to leave. Still won't leave. Still won't. He then yells it. He says, this is my house. I'm not leaving. That's what the guy says.
Sounds like LeBron.
That's like LeBron.
After dunking. This is my house.
Well, LeBron has many mansions he's got to watch out for. He then decides to call his daughter up, trying to get backup, basically saying, hey, we're going to need this. Hopefully you can talk some sense to them since you're younger. His daughter comes. He's no longer there. He's no longer in the bathroom. They check to see if he stole anything from the house. Nothing stolen. Mm-hmm. The way he explained the story, though, the daughter knew he wasn't mentally well. The way he explained it, he was saying the mannerisms that this guy had, like, this is unbelievable. I'm actually like so pissed that he said stuff like this. He would say, "This is my home." She knew something neurologically wasn't right, so she took him to the hospital. Turns out this guy had a syndrome called Kara syndrome. This syndrome makes you unable to recognize familiar faces. It makes you not unable to recognize. So what he was talking to,
Was the daughter?
no, because she was not in the house. He called her.
Go ahead. What was he talking to?
His face in the bathroom mirror.
Oh my goodness.
His face in the bathroom mirror he was talking to all along, and he couldn't recognize his own self. It's one of the rarest cases you're going to find. You can look it up. 2014. You guys look it up. 2014 Garage syndrome, I want to say. I'm getting chills just from that story alone. But I read that. I was like, oh.
So did he have like a mirror when he made dinner? Like in the...
Yeah, apparently.
Or did he just...
Oh, they said he was also on the stages of beginning stages of Alzheimer's. Forgot to include that in.
Oh, well, that explains it.
So, that and the syndrome kind of made him, not even recognize a mirror.
This episode, yeah.
Not even recognize a mirror in this situation. He was eating dinner, basically talking to himself. Imagine his daughter came in, seeing him do that. She would have been flipped out.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That was a story I found.
That reminds me, there's like this little video of a bear that was looking at a mirror in the forest. There's like a mirror. Someone set up a mirror in the forest on a tree.
Really?
And the bear thought it was another bear, and he was like doing some power move and then started like fighting in the mirror. It was funny.
Like my dog, we watch movies and they'll show our dogs on the screen. My dog would just get up, start barking at it for no reason, grab a toy, look up to the TV, and thinks there's another dog on the screen. I guess it's just an animal thing.
Yeah.
It's just they're not aware, obviously, of stuff like that.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, there's crazy stories. Mr. Ballin, we recommend him if you like that kind of thing.
If you like his YouTube stories, definitely follow his. It's on Apple Podcasts, by the way. Apple Music. Well, not Apple Music, Apple Podcasts.
He recently signed a deal where his stuff's on multiple platforms, I believe.
Oh, really? So like Amazon, kind of like
Yeah.
podcasts,
I think-
Spotify.
I think Amazon is the main one. Like if you want it a month early or something.
Yeah.
And then, but it's also on the other ones, I believe.
I gotcha. Yeah. Because you have Spotify. I keep forgetting you don't have Apple Podcasts.
No, I have Amazon.
You do have Amazon.
But I will be getting Spotify because there's a student bundle where you can get
Oh, really?
Spotify and Hulu for like $6 a month.
Only $6 a month.
Yes.
Actually.
So I think I will be getting Hulu.
But will you be using all those apps? That's the thing. Because you got to make it worth it. I mean, it's only $6 a month, man.
Well, I don't have the full version of Amazon, so it'd be nice to have the full version of something, so I don't have to listen to ads and stuff. So yeah.
We all know how boring ads are.
All right,
No,
let's
no,
move
yeah.
on to the life category.
Kind of tied into the video game stories are pretty much was talking about and the last, but I can still talk about the have you played Madden before? Have you actually played any sports games in particular?
I have played it with some friends. Yes.
Okay. The last Madden game I played with friends was Madden 15. That was a little while ago. But I got Madden 24 a week ago, actually. It came on a deal. I hate how, you guys know, if you guys are Xbox gamers, PlayStation gamers, new games are like $80, each game. I didn't want to get that. So I waited until Madden 24 came out in a discount where it was $20. So I bought it. I'm 3-0 right now so far in online head-to-head matchups, and I have a friend who has a YouTube channel that actually streams Madden games. He's like the guy that helped us. Yeah,
okay.
Actually recorded us.
He knows everything about audio and software and stuff. So
yes, which actually was really helpful for sure. But yeah, he's basically gonna be telling me how to get better at that game in particular. Because if you all play that game, you know how broken it is. Some plays, like there's a guy some plays in the game. The quarterback whatever quarterback you have glitches, you'll throw backwards for some reason. like you throw behind you.
I've seen videos where people try to mimic like video game
Yeah.
kind of physics and stuff in real life.
Like the actual that's not
But
good.
like with sports and stuff, it's funny.
Like the NBA 2K stuff is funny.
Have you seen with like the glitched jump shot, the delayed jump shot? Have you seen those? It's funny.
Have you seen the Wembanyama one? He goes to dunk and he's hanging on the rim and he can't get off. So whenever someone shoots, he like slots it away and he's on the rim.
Totally not goaltending.
Totally not goaltending whatsoever. That should always be a rule. But I'm scared of the new NBA rules. What we're gonna do with some of these rules, man. I don't like the system basically. That's for another sports category.
All right, I see. We're gonna talk about gym again. Workout routines.
Yeah. I decided to. I haven't canceled my gym membership yet to plan it, but I decided I'm going to be getting gym and home equipment.
Oh, okay.
because with my full-time schedule, it will be tough getting out there to physical gyms. Like I said, I'm going to buy a pull-up thing for the door. I'm going to try to set up a push-up routine, actually. How many push-ups you can do in a row? I'm just curious, if you know, like, off the bat.
I think my record is like 45. But I think if I push myself, I can get to 50.
42 was mine. I can probably push to 45.
I think I can get to 50.
That's
like,
good.
Right now, I'm not gonna. Do you want me to? I'm not gonna do it, but I think I can probably get to 50.
No, well, maybe as a side video one day. Who knows?
No.
But no. That's actually my goal was actually so we kind of have the same kind of like upper body kind of strength. So. Do you have any still goals? Like, what part of it do you want to work on in particular?
Pull-ups. I'm not super good at pull-ups. So I want to be able to do 10 in a row.
We want to join the army? I'm just kidding. No.
Yeah, that's kind of like my baseline, what the army can do.
Yeah.
So like if I can say, I could, qualify for the army, then I feel pretty good about myself.
You want to do the basics so you can say that because it makes you feel like you can, compete with everyone else essentially.
Yeah. Be a good citizen.
I don't get like the protein drinks though, like the
protein powder.
Protein powder in particular. I think it is kind of a waste of. I mean, if you go to the gym every day.
Yeah, if you're trying to build muscle, you have to consume a lot of protein. So I'd recommend getting protein everywhere you can.
Is there
protein bars? Oh, go ahead.
Is there like a number one restaurant you go to after gym or after workout related?
I don't go to a restaurant. I eat at home, but as far as like gym stuff, but yeah, protein bars, protein shakes.
Yeah.
Cow's milk has protein in it.
There's some shakes out there.
Low fat cow's milk has protein, and then if you put that into your protein shake, then that plus the protein powder is gonna have a lot of protein. And
basically showing a guy to being Chris Hemsworth buff.
Well,
no, I'm just kidding. No, that would be cool.
I'll tell you the secret: steroids.
Exactly.
Steroids. A lot of those actors are doing that. So if you're trying to achieve that physique,
I know. I love how they show their own workout routines, but on the side, it's steroids. It's steroids. Yeah. No, honestly, I've never tried it and never will. Hopefully.
I knew someone that considered it, but the costs outweigh the benefits. Unless you're an actor that's going to be getting paid millions of dollars, then you might consider it. But if you're just someone that wants to get super buff, I don't think it's worth it.
I personally think this is easier, what we're doing.
Doing it.
Besides having a whole routine.
And plus, if you look at the people that live the longest, that break 100 years old or something, they're pretty skinny. Not very tall and skinny. Yeah. So
I've noticed that too. You don't have to be a bodybuilder to think you're gonna, get past 70. You could be us. This man eats apple a day. Actually, I gotta get
every day.
I gotta get a diet like that.
Since I think 2017.
Jeez, man, that is consistent. Are you always going to the store to get apples?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I miss a day. The days I usually miss it is if I have to do something, so I skip breakfast. Yeah. But it's not very often. Or sometimes I have pancakes, like once a month. But besides that, it's apple every day.
This man's basically saying you need apples every day. I'm just kidding. No,
I do. I like them. I genuinely like them.
Yeah, I have oranges. I like oranges.
Sometimes I'll have an orange.
I'll have an orange. But I like fruits more than vegetables, I'm realizing. I gotta get more vegetables in my system. It's
not really a conspiracy theory, but fruits aren't as healthy as you think.
They really are, because they got sugar in it. I mean, fruits have their own sugar.
We don't have time, but you know what? I'll put that in as a topic in one of the podcasts, talk about fruit and how they've changed over the decades.
Makes me think of something else, too.
But it's pretty crazy, so better be careful with that.
Basically, yeah.
All right, we'll move on to the devotion.
I think that's a short one as well.
Galatians 2:20. What's the theme of this one? Like just in one word.
In one word, it would be basically.
Well, you're pulling it up.
No, it's basically though sovereignty. I would say like sovereignty of God.
Okay.
And basically Him living in us and us Him living us out. So Galatians 2:20 right here. Says, I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. In the life I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me.
So that's Paul speaking.
Yes.
To the Church of Galatians.
Exactly right, actually. Paul is my favorite kind of character in the Bible. Just the transformation he had. Yeah. Just the favorite, like his transformation from Saul to Paul was really good. To read. But this verse in particular kind of reminds me of that verse, John 15:5, where it says, I am the vine, you are the branches. Because we're connected. This verse is saying, without him, you're alone. And basically, the verse, I am the vine, you are the branches, you die without the vine. Mm-hmm. This one, we get to live, we get to live in him because he basically gave us his life for us.
Exactly.
That's pretty much my take on it.
That's to do with being born again, how like your old self, the flesh, the sinner, died. Yeah. And then what's raised you again is Christ, making you a new creature.
Also, a take I had too on it is, how this generation, there's countless new decisions being made on gender related or like just equality and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. The number one, the two decisions that remain constant to this day is your decision what to do with your life and where you end up going at the end of your life. Those, I find that awesome because those are the two decisions that stay with you, that stay constant. For everything that's constant. What's the opposite word for constant? I can't think of one at the moment.
Constant, like changing.
Ever changing. That's what
inconsistent.
This world. Inconsistent. That's what
sporadic. I guess sporadic. Chaotic. That's kind of the opposite.
Because you get all these worldviews now, and it's like, even with Christian, there's so many different Christian denominations. When did it become where there's so many different Christian religion?
Oh, okay.
In a sense,
talk about that.
Yeah.
So, basically, when Martin Luther, not Martin Luther King Jr., Martin Luther, the guy from hundreds of years ago, did was it 99 Theses?
Yeah, the 99
Basically,
Theses.
when he critiqued the Catholic Church, he put it up, and so basically a lot of people agreed that the Catholic Church had problems, and so then you had all these different denominations kind of spawn off of that, trying to create their own interpretations of what the Bible said. So you had like the Lutherans, which are directly from Martin Luther.
Presbyterians,
the Protestants.
Yeah,
the whole Catholic versus Protestant. So basically that kind of sparked the whole people looking at the Bible themselves instead of just listening to whatever the Catholic priest said. And then there was a lot of interpretations as to what the scripture was saying. People had different ideas, and that's where you get all these denominations today.
And they pretty much all still relate to one God, which is basically...
Yeah, as long as you have like the foundation, like the salvation issues in line... Yeah, there's going to be different things that are interpreted differently.
But you can think of it like an atom in a sense. Like you break down a substance, the atom part is still the central part. Basically, you have all these different pieces, but they still connect. They still connect to that one.
You have to believe that Jesus died for your sins and that he's the Son of God and he is God and that he rose again.
That he rose again from...
And that...
that's pretty much going back to the verse. Crucified of Christ.
From what I know, pretty much all of them believe at least that. Which is pretty much the foundation of Christianity.
There is some crazy denominations I'm not going to get into.
You can't really call them Christian, but yeah.
Yeah, like the progressive stuff.
But yeah, there's like stuff like predestination, which people argue about. There's like gifts of the Holy Spirit that people argue about. So there's a lot of little issues that people disagree.
How would you live out kind of like this verse? Like live by faith. How can you live out your faith maybe in a certain situation, basically? That you see yourself during a group of friends or strangers?
Just, believing what the Bible says and not worrying about what people think and stuff or about the future, because there's the verse about how God takes care of the birds and the lilies of the field. So he's going to take care of you. So just have faith that he's going to do what he says he's going to do.
Because people can talk cheap. They can make promises any part of, given any opportunity. But the only promise you can really rely on is God's.
That's the only one.
That's the only promise. Yeah, the only promise. That's pretty much what I was going to say. I was going to apply that basically to a certain situation. If you see a group of people talking bad about God or just talking about their way is better, you don't have to reply back saying, oh, God's way is the only way, even though it is. There's a way to go across that. And I think with this verse in particular, it would help people see that.
Yeah.
I would say.
I agree.
Now move on to prayer, I would think. Is a pretty good way to end it. You want to start? Or
you can go ahead and pray.
All right.
You pick the verse, yeah.
Yeah. Dear Lord, I appreciate the time we had on this episode for you, this podcast. Lord, help us live out, again, this verse, Galatians 2:20. During a group of friends, whether it be just friends, strangers, family. make sure that we remember the promise you have for us, and it's a one and only promise as we live out our day and day with you and worshiping you. Never met. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
All right, guys. If you guys listen to this on whatever platform, this is episode 3 of the VR podcast.
Yeah, thank you for listening. Please tune in again because we're going to be here.
VR podcast out.
All right, bye.